Well, I think we live now.
All right, bet.
All right, let's
What's
get
up,
it.
everybody? What's up,
Another one.
everybody?
Was good. You already know. Different time, same vibe. Different day actually too. But shout out to all the fathers out there first and foremost. Happy Father's Day to all the real ones that do what they supposed to and those that have stepped up. You know what I'm saying? In the
Word,
absence
word.
of others. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
But this is the Jones Hour NBA Finals preview. Still wants to get into a little bit of baseball. Wasn't a good week for our teams, but one and only Ant Acid, the producer. That's right, that's you, bro.
Happy Father's Day to me. And then
Word.
to the right of me, I got the one and only Jonesy.
Those verses.
Jonesy. Two
Those
times.
verses.
Say
Two
that shit
times.
twice.
Say it. That's right. Yeah, man. So we here. Preview tonight. This is a big game. It's a big game from both teams. Um, I mean, when you look at it, when you see when you see the last game, in the end, everybody got to be kicking themselves in the butt. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Kicking themselves in the ass. Like they had it. They finally what they've been doing to all the other teams finally happened to them. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Yep.
That game
Yep.
four, and OKC was able to basically steal that game. You know, because they was winning. They in Indiana. You know, they already won game three. They basically could have put a seal on the finals. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Being up 3-1, can OKC beat this Indiana team three times in a row to win the chip? And answer probably would have been no. But it's 2-2 now. We know. I don't know what the statistics are, but I'm pretty sure the statistics is high. When it's Game Five, series tied at 2, the winner of this game goes on to win majority of the time. So
Yeah.
OKC does have the advantage of being at home. You know what I'm saying? But this Indiana team, they got a lot of fight in them.
They play incredibly well,
Hmm.
away. But I look at it like fuck, bro. Like that's OKC. Like they're gonna go extra hard tonight. Like
Hmm.
it's
Well, I mean, they're at
vibes
home.
is
They
gonna be
should.
crazy. Yeah, vibes
They
is gonna be
yeah.
crazy tonight.
Yeah, they should. I mean, why wouldn't they? You got a chance at redemption. After losing whatever it was, game one, the way you did. You know what I'm saying? To get it back to this point, and
Yeah.
change it from a 7 game series to a 3 game series now. With two of those games potentially being in OKC. It's big. You know, they
Word.
have the advantage. They have the advantage. It's gonna take some miracle play by the Pacers, which we quite frankly we've seen all playoffs. We've seen all playoffs
Mm-hmm.
with this team and this miracle play that they do.
True.
So it's gonna be a lot to see. Um, you think OKC wins tonight? Dominating. You
I
was right the
I
other time. You was right the
I
other
tr-
time.
I truly believe OKC got this. Like
Hmm.
that's not even like Knicks like hate like Pacer hatred. Like
Hmm.
I truly believe OKC has this shit.
No, but
You
do you
know
believe that they have it like a spanking, like how you
tonight?
said last time? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely,
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
winning at
Yeah,
least by 15.
yeah.
Oh wow, it's a big statement.
Dominate. And I look at it like I mean, you're setting me up for it, but at the same time, like it's kind of like I kind of expect it.
Hmm.
Do you not expect that to happen? I fucking expect that to happen.
Yeah. I mean, I could expect a W from OKC. Sorry with this camera thing. I could expect a W with OKC, but I don't know if I could expect another 15, 20 point blowout. You know what I'm saying? I think
Yeah.
Indiana. I know they know their sense of urgency right now. The one thing about Indiana is their leader is probably Halliburton, but he's not really that consistent. He has off games where he just disappears and is not relevant. You know what I'm saying? And Indiana at this point can't afford him to have any more of those games. You know,
Nah.
so he's going to be a big factor. He's going to be a key factor. Their big man played with Turner because OKC got some big men. They got some
Hmm.
dogs, people that bang down low and get rebounds. They got those hustlers like a Caruso as well. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
He's the biggest dog on the team.
yeah, a lot of what Indiana was doing to these East teams, OKC is now being able to do to them, and we'll see if they're able to weather the storm. You know what I'm saying? You're in hostile territory. I mean, OKC might be a small market, but playing in that arena is not that easy. We've seen in the
Yeah.
past.
Word.
They don't even sit down until somebody scores. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it be like that.
It's
So
like,
we
yo, just got to keep it clapping.
facts, facts. Yeah, man. Yep. So yeah, so we see what's gonna happen. Any like players to be on the lookout for you? Um,
I mean,
in tonight's game, or at least for the rest of the series.
nothing like that stands out entirely.
Mm,
I look at it like it, we know that the essential people right now for the Pacers are are the usual suspects of like what they have right now, but outside of that, like I would say Obi's kind of stepped up.
yeah, Obi's
Um,
been big. Yeah, he's somebody. He's definitely a player to watch. And we're kicking ourselves too. Knicks players watching him play the way he's playing, uh,
mhm,
in this uh in this playoffs and even against us. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely proven to be a difference maker. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And
yeah,
again, we could blame that on the Tibbs system. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because Tibbs made it quite clear that this kid probably wouldn't find any burn or a spot in my rotation, and that's probably why
yeah,
they let him go. But clearly he probably deserved a spot in that rotation. You know what I'm saying? To be a part of that Knicks team that we seen. But yeah, I would agree. Halliburton and Toppin definitely too big for Indiana to actually even have the ability to uh win this game and possibly this series. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because they need it if my Pacers and six is real. You know,
mhm,
they're gonna need it. They're gonna need it tonight and then handle business back in Indiana. Um, whatever that would be, Thursday or something like that. And I think for OKC, um, it's we just can't get the SGA, so that's it. You know, we know what he's capable of. We know what he could do. There probably isn't a player on Indiana that could really stop him from dropping 30 if he wants.
yeah,
But it's the other players around him. It's the other players around him. The Aaron Wiggins and Chet and
yeah,
both Jalen Williams. You know what I'm saying? And those type of
and I,
players, that's going to be what's key for them. To you know be the dominating team that basically everybody expects them to be. Excuse me.
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, I look at it like that's that, that classic Chamberlain story of, him being like the phenom, like one of the best players to ever fucking live, and
Mm,
then him finally getting over that hump and getting that chip, you know, um, didn't come from him being like the best player. It had to him getting ego checked and then like literally the whole
mm-hmm.
team coming up to him and being like,
Yeah,
"Yo,
going
like
on the Lakers and shit.
we need to change the system. Like what's the best way to do this?" And it's like, "All right, well, you're going to be shooting less. Like we know that
Right.
you're clearly able to put up 100 a game, you know what I mean? But we're
Mm,
still losing all these championships, you
yeah.
know? So like he's like it was just like loss, 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 loss. He has all these L's,
Mm,
and it was until like he became like literally Jokic, where like he had that stat line where like it went
mm,
from him being 30 something a game, points wise to him being 20 a game and then him having 15 boards and 10 assists, and you know what I mean? Like he had a clear like very, very evenly distributed stat line. And when that happened, that's when they won their chips. You know, like
Yeah.
you just
Mm-hmm.
got to play it right, bro. Like when you have a player like that, like you have to, unless like not one play. It's basketball. Like you can't do it with one player, bro.
Nah, that's a fact. No, yeah, it's definitely a team sport.
It's a team sport,
So
bro. Yeah.
yeah, no, you're 100% right. So well, tonight's the night, man. Game 5, NBA Finals. I don't know if it's must-see TV because this is probably one of the lowest watch ratings in
Yeah, I
finals
mean, I
in this
look at
year.
it like, all right, if you're gonna want to watch a game for the series, I would say this is the game to watch it. This is the
Mm-hmm.
defining game. Whoever wins
Mm-hmm.
tonight wins the series.
I agree. I agree. So,
When you're tied 2-2, that's it.
mm,
It's whoever wins tonight wins the series. They may not
yeah.
wrap it up tonight, but
No, they
they're
can't
winning
wrap
the
it up tonight.
series.
It's only
Ah,
2-2.
Avi,
Yeah.
but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, nah. So we see what's gonna happen. So we seen the Knicks. We went over that last week with the coaching and whatnot. And it seems like everybody they went for denied them, so I'm saying. Dallas, Houston, um, and some other teams I can't think of, but at least 5 teams said no.
Hmm.
Which I mean, they're trying to spin it to make it the way that the Knicks went in this, not thinking. But I
Yeah.
think, yeah, I mean, you got to just
It
trust the
be
process at this point. And
all
I
right.
think
It
they still might
also
have the ability to get Jason Kidd. I think that's still not off the table, even though it was kind of like they didn't want him to talk. I think there's still some talks about it. You know what I'm saying?
wouldn't
Maybe
you
maybe Jason Kidd is talking about wanting to come to New York,
like
even though
that's
Dallas just got all of this.
no, I definitely. But like look at it like this, all right? Like you're putting it in the air. Okay? You're going I want you.
Hmm.
You know, like the coach knows that. They may not even be able to talk to the coach. You
No,
know,
they can't.
they don't even they can't talk to the
They're
coach. They need
requesting
to be cleared
permission. They're
out.
requesting permission from the coach
But
from the
they
teams, and every
they
team has said
know
no.
they know those coaches know they were requested to be seen by the Knicks. So
That
it's
well,
really
yeah.
one of those things. So if anyone, it's like really one of those
It's
things that like you could literally have like a fucking fight with this coach. Like this organization can have a fight with the coach. All right. And the coach would be like,
mhm,
you know what? Fuck you guys. I'm out of here. I got the Knicks like knocking on my
mhm,
fucking door. About to
mhm,
give me the bag, bro. And you're trying to give me some shit right now. Like it literally puts it in the air, you know,
mhm.
and
I think.
it creates
Okay.
instability but for these teams, even if we don't even want them.
Mm,
Literally, it creates a not like a tidbit, a slight tidbit of instability, and it could be drastic. It's like one of
mhm.
those things that could literally be nothing or like incredibly big, you know. But showing your interest and putting it in the air creates like an actual like it's in the air like
Like a
that's it. Like
buzz.
the Knicks, exactly. The Knicks want you, bro.
Mhm.
Like
But you
the
know what? It's
person
the
knows
Knicks.
now.
But the funny part about it is that the Knicks aren't the ones that are making it up. You know what I'm saying? That are
Hmm.
putting it out there. It's the other teams that are saying, "Hey, the Knicks reached out to us, and we're making it public that we said no to them."
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think it's also their way of showing like we have things where we want it to be at. You know what I'm saying? Even if they don't, you know what I'm saying? Because Dallas, they look like they was the dummies of of the season by trading Luca. You know what I'm saying? They wind up getting blessed or conspiracied. You know what I'm saying? Into the first pick, however you might want to call it. But that's a good situation, even with Jason Kidd. You know what I'm saying? You still got Kyrie, you still got AD, and you got the number one pick in the draft, which is probably going to be Cooper Flag from Duke. So I mean that three right there is a solid team to work with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think one thing about Jason Kidd, he does get the most out of his players. You know what I'm saying? They run for him. They go hard for him. We seen that last year with Dallas making it to the chip. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I would love for him to be our coach. You know what I'm saying? But I'm also like not really stressing it. You know what I'm saying? Like how we talked about Mark Jackson or even a Van Gundy. Like I said, Van Gundy, he's back in the coaching thing. I think that would be a great fit.
Mhm.
So we'll see what the Knicks are gonna do. Obviously, there's still some time before they really got to worry about making a decision and whatnot. The draft hasn't even happened yet, so I think within the next couple of weeks, within the draft and the finals being over, um, I think they'll make some headway into what they'll do. Even maybe a possibility of a splash of a big move. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think they're looking for it. I think they're on the hunt for it. They're shopping around. They're talking to teams, asking what's the price tag for certain players. You know what I'm saying? And where they might not have as many picks as they have, I think there's only one or two. There's a second round next year, but there's still about maybe three first round picks from now until like 2031. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So maybe they'll be able to work something out with that to add to the team.
Hmm.
What they're gonna do? I
Good
don't know.
question.
I
Good
don't
fucking
know.
question.
Yeah. And aside from the coach, man, I just want to know if they're gonna go after a big name. You know what I'm saying? Are you gonna give up the bag for Giannis? I don't think Durant is the move. You know what I'm saying? I think there's a
Yeah.
lot of talks about Durant. I
I
mean,
want
there's
to
a lot
stay
of talks about him.
far.
Yeah. No,
I'll
I don't want no
stay
parts of
far
that
away
dude.
from that shit.
So yeah,
Yeah.
let's hope that it's a Giannis or we're just keeping the team intact and we're adding maybe some better bench pieces. Oh, I did see a Jaren Jackson. That would be a
Mhm.
nice move from Memphis, Jaren Jackson Jr. To team up with Cat. You know what I'm saying? So I think
That would be super dope.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? I think that's a good move to be on the lookout for. Strengthen our
No,
starting five.
I don't watch enough Memphis basketball, but does he does he is he injury prone or not?
I think he has had some injury issues. I know that from like fantasy, not really from watching fucking Memphis basketball, but from having him on
Yeah.
fantasy teams and seeing how long he be out sometimes. Every our whole team was like that though, right? It wasn't OG like that, it wasn't Cat like that.
Yeah,
Everybody on our team, aside from Bridges, has really had a question mark. But they've been able to hold out and hold up. So
I don't know. There's a couple of people there are a couple of players that I look at as like just like firm like upgrades. You know what I mean?
mhm,
Like, like Duran's another one, like I would totally take Duran. Um,
from Detroit.
you know, yeah. Um
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if he's available, But
but yeah,
yeah,
Triple J if he's fucking if he's available, bro, like I want him.
yeah, try to pull that trigger. You gotta try to make that
But
happen.
if
You know
we
what I'm
take
saying?
him, we start him like
Of
that's
course. Oh yeah, no.
yeah.
Of course, yeah. I mean, getting him, in a move like that to get him, if it's a trade, you're probably assuming that you're giving up Mitchell Robinson for that, right?
Yeah.
Why would you keep Mitch? You know what I'm saying? With Karl Anthony Towns already. You know what I'm saying? You're probably trading
Yeah.
Mitch. You're probably
Yeah.
trading a first round pick, and you're probably trading again one of your young players. You know what I'm saying?
I
McBride or
mean,
Pollock or uh
we've looked at these like I don't know, like I look at it like they look at it well better yet, we it's clearly seen or it's better yet like it's documented that like the over under the numbers they're clearly matter to the organization,
mhm
you know?
mhm
And if we're talking about Mitch was the biggest bright side of these playoffs for us, at least on that final round.
mhm
So exiting and out of the whole team, you could literally like, oh, who's the one player that you look at like that didn't disappoint you? Probably Mitchell Robinson.
mhm
Like you look at him and you're like, yo, he was last game of the
yeah
fucking season, bro. He's the one person that was like doing work, like
yeah
so
no I
I look at
mean
it. Yeah, I look
go
at it
ahead.
like I don't really think that we would ship Mitch like off, like I don't know. Like I think that it would be smart, but I don't necessarily think that we are. You
I
know?
mean, we just did it though last year. Nobody, I think there was I think some of the gripe that some of the Knicks fans had going into this season was that that we gave up DiVincenzo, who was our bench, and we gave up Julius Randle, who was a player that really wanted to be here. When it's been so hard for so long to try to find players that want to come to New York. You know what I'm saying? And he did that. He's basically the starter of making it cool to be in New York again. You know what I mean? And there was, even though the injury bug caught us last year,
Yeah.
there was this expectation of finally bringing all of these pieces together and seeing what that looks like, because we saw it for maybe 25 games last year and our record was like 23-2. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? 22
Yeah.
and 3, something like that. You know what I'm saying? So when you think about it by the numbers, it's like, oh man, we got something going right here with this core, and we got rid of all of it before we even got a chance to actually see it for a full season. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's like, everybody's expendable. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody's expendable except for probably Jalen Brunson. I mean, you got to keep your point guard. You need a point guard. You know what I mean? But I think
I
for
don't
any
know.
player,
I
any
think
player
I
that's
think
there,
situationally, situationally it's different. Like I said, like we ended last game of the season, Mitch was the biggest bright side. That last series, Mitch was the biggest bright side. So if you look at it, I doubt that they're going to ship Mitch off of that alone. Julius
mm,
nor DiVincenzo were the biggest bright sides of our last game of last season. You know what I'm saying?
facts.
Like I
Mm.
don't
Well, Julius
we
was
didn't
hurt.
Julia
Julius was
both
hurt.
both
But
both had a little bit of brights.
DiVincenzo,
DiVincenzo was probably the
DiVincenzo
one
hit some
person
big
that
shots
was
for
most
us, though.
disappointed. Absolutely.
Yeah, he hit some big
DiVincenzo
shots
and
for us.
Josh Hart was the GOAT of last year.
Mm,
But yeah,
mm.
the overall
Even
hustle
even jo-
in
even
general.
Josh Hart might gotta go. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real. Let's be real. Like, what Tibbs did is add a value to him now. You know what I'm saying? With those, allowed those type of minutes and that hustle that we seen, that that hard nosed play, that leadership. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's a quality that a lot of teams are looking for in their players, whether they're starters or coming off the bench. So
Yeah.
that could be somebody else that's now a piece. Because I mean, honestly, he plays small forward and whatnot, but he's really should be just a shooting guard. And we got kind of like shooting guard and small forward, pretty much locked in. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah.
So you could see him being maybe something
Yes.
in the package for
He's
something like that.
definitely has a high value for what he is, but we don't have a six man. Like we don't necessarily, because we had Tibbs, we didn't play a
Mm,
system where we had a six man, at least not regular season six man. Like there
mm.
was no like leader of
McBride,
the second pack. Yes, but
McBride.
no. Like we didn't see enough time where McBride was on the floor with, unless it was garbage minutes, with I don't know, Kolick, and you know what I mean,
No,
like
that's because those
basically a
other
B
players didn't
squad.
get. Yeah, those other players didn't get the burn. But when you think about
Yeah.
McBride, he is our sixth man. Probably he is the one that was coming off the bench, and probably got six man of the year votes. You know what I'm saying? At the
Oh,
end of the
absolutely.
season.
Yeah.
Mm,
But like regular season, like I can't say that Deuce was the one. Deuce is like amazing when it comes down to playoffs, but regular season, bro, like I never really like I've had him on fantasy, you know what I mean? Like, and
mm,
that's due to Tibbs' system, where you barely get minutes if you're not part of the starting five. You know what I mean?
mm.
Like if you're not like situationally needed, then you're not going to play. Like
Yeah, which is like which is
if
dumb.
there's certain
Which is
players that
dumb.
have foul trouble, yeah, like you're not
Mm.
gonna get done,
Yeah,
like
but
you're
no,
not gonna get burned.
yeah, exactly. But that's the same thing that got this guy fired. You know what I'm saying? Being
Mhm.
stubborn, not willing to adapt to the in games or series situation. You know what I'm saying? Not being able to utilize your talent. You know what I'm saying? And optimize, your return on the players that you got. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not hard to go seven deep in a game. You know what I'm saying? Seven, eight
Definitely
deep
not.
in a game. That's not that hard. You know what I'm saying? I do that on fucking Monday nights in an adult league. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Where we eight deep on the team. You know what I'm saying? Playing 20-minute halves. You know what I'm saying? It's not that hard to sub. It's like, all right, like, you take a break, you come back in. You know what I'm saying?
He
Like
Yeah, he
like
definitely
you
has
don't
a
you don't
higher
even.
higher value, but like we could literally keep him and actually utilize him like the way that he should be utilized. Like
Hmm.
actually give that run. Like
Yeah.
and then you could swap, have him on the floor. You're gonna give him major minutes, but
Hmm.
he's utilitarian. Like he's a fucking a Swiss Army knife type player.
Hmm.
So I don't like he does everything good, but nothing incredibly great. Unless
Yeah.
you're talking about hustle. Hustle's probably his greatest aspect.
Who, McBride?
No, 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 heart.
Hart. Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah. Nah, all it is hustle. And he can't hit a jumper.
that's what I'm
His
saying.
defense is shaky at times, but
Heart and probably offensive rebounds, but that's a hustle
yeah.
thing.
Hmm.
You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like
Yep.
heart and
He
hustle
has
are
a knack
literally
for getting
like,
the ball.
yeah, exactly. Like that
Hmm.
type of shit. Like is hard to come by. Like he's very unique as a player. But like I would say, like it's a good question. Like, do we keep him, have him as a six man? Like actually utilize him correctly, or use the high trade value and trade him away?
Hmm. Yeah. And so those are the problems that the Knicks are gonna have, and those are the questions that's gonna be answered as we move along within the summer. You know what I mean? Before
Hmm.
season starts back up in October. So I mean, we could speculate all we want. We could do this shit for 3 hours, which way they could
No,
go.
it's
You know
it's
what I'm
it's
saying?
it's it's just a good fucking question. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
both sides
Hmm.
have their pros. That's all I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
there's
No,
definitely
you're
pros
you're
on both
100%
sides.
right.
And if they keep him and he's literally won six man of the year and like is fucking amazing and is like putting up numbers and shit, then like the Knicks are
Hmm.
fucking geniuses, you know?
Yeah. Hmm.
But if
Yeah. I
the
mean,
if
if
the
he could
trade
put
is
anything,
crap,
if he could
then
put
no, fuck
similar
that.
numbers, but if he could put similar numbers up that he was putting up this year, maybe a slight dip off because of the minutes, and do it in like 28 to 30 minutes. That's perfect. You know what I'm saying? Where he's not averaging a triple double, but it's like 8, 7, and 6. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? 7 rebounds, 6 to 5 assists. 8 to 9, 8, 9, 10 points, something like that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
those types of numbers is the what we could be satisfied with. You know what I'm saying? With less minutes though, with 12 less, 14 less minutes in the game. That we having somebody, depending on who we get, if we get somebody that thing. So Knicks is
No,
not done. We
deep
know that
down though. Deep down, who do you want to get rid of?
on the team. Uh I would get rid of Hart. I would get rid of Hart and you see I really like Mitch, but it also depends on what we're going after. Like if we're gonna get a Giannis or a Jaren Jackson, then I would get rid of Mitch. You know what I'm saying? But if we get like another small forward shooting guard type of thing, then I would get rid of Hart. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I mean, to get Giannis, I would get rid of Mitch and Hart. You know what I mean? Like that's it's not a problem to me. You know,
Easy.
easy. Mitch, Hart, McBride, and the draft picks right now. Thank you. Right now, thank you. Like not even a thought. You know what I mean? Giannis
Send me that
starts.
voice.
Giannis. Yeah, Giannis starts with Cat instead of Mitch, and you still got OG Bridges and Brunson.
Uh,
Um, we obviously we still got Precious. These young cats that we got on the team, Kolik, he gonna have to get some burn. Uh, Deity, I think his name is
mhm.
Diadi. I think
You
that's
got it.
somebody that we need to.
Dottie
Yeah,
A.
we need
Dottie
Daddy.
A.
Yeah, we need.
Hey, I
Yeah, we
got it.
need. Yeah, we need him. We need him. We need to see what he's worth and what moves he can make with him. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? I mean,
Word.
we got Shamit and DeLon Wright. So Shamit, DeLon Wright is already a backup guards. You know what I'm saying for our starters. Precious is already a backup big man. You get one more big man or one more three type of player. Probably a big man. You need like a true center. You need somebody that's 7 foot. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you probably, but that maybe that's Huck Porty. You know what I mean? So like you might
Hmm.
have some of the pieces that you already got. That you already have on the team. Where now these other players do become expendable to get that superstar player like a Giannis on the team to immediately incorporate into the starters. Giannis, Cat, OG. That's a solid front court. You know what I mean?
Yeah, word.
hmm And and lastly, before we move on, I just want to say, man, Brunson, you the man. I fuck with you. Uh, you really carried us, and you even took the money cut and shit like that. You just gotta dribble less, my brother. You gotta dribble a little bit less, man. You gotta be more. What's the word? When you come on too strong, assertive. You gotta be more assertive. You know what I mean? In
Hmm.
your movement, and not keep constantly waiting for picks and plays like that to finally get your shot off with 4 seconds left in the shot clock. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody else
Yeah,
in the team knows what to do when you do that. You know what I'm saying? Except for crash. And then when they're
I
not
think
ready, then it's a turnover.
I
You know
think
what
he
I mean?
got that. I think he got that from Luca. That's some
hmm
Luca shit,
Yeah,
you know. And the thing
hmm
is like he's not Luca, you know.
he's not.
Like he needs to take some notes from Steph, and literally call the play and then run the
hmm
play and then be
Right.
off ball. Look, my guy with
Facts.
the belt over here.
Yeah. Football season coming soon. So I just grab it real quick. Football season coming
uh,
soon. Yeah, man. So yeah, that's it, man. That's it. Briefly with the NFL, man. I just think, man, I seen some highlights of the Giants defense
uh-huh.
looking real scary. That pass rush looking real scary. We might not have it completely yet on offense, but on defense, they're gonna
Yeah.
be able to carry us. They actually might be able to win us some games. You know what I'm saying? Or keep us in games. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, I
Regardless of
think
how
that's
hard our schedule is.
I think that's the answer for the Giants, bro. Like
Yeah, no, I mean
it's
it's already
that's
coming to
that's
fruition.
that's G-man culture right there. That's big blue culture
Yeah.
right there. Like be
hmm
up on our defense first. Defense wins championships, bro.
Yeah,
At least in football, you know.
definitely. A lot of times. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I just wanted to get over that, and even the Jets, Fields, with a lot to play for, a lot of young players on that team. Uh, they hopefully they're able to make some noise,
Mhm.
in the upcoming season for them. Um, but I just wanted to get over the baseball real quick before we end the show because the game has already started. It looks like, or maybe not. Oh no, no, not
What?
yet. That's
The
highlights.
basketball game? Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no,
No,
I'm watching. I'm
we
watching.
got 15 minutes.
Yeah, no, I see it on TV. So I thought I seen the game playing, but it's just highlights. Pardon. Yeah, but the
Yeah.
Yankees and Mets, man, not both didn't have good weekends this week. You know what I'm saying? We both just lost to got swept actually this weekend. We got swept by our arch nemesis, the Red Sox, and y'all actually got swept by Tampa, the Rays. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Mhm.
In terms of us, definitely an awakening. Definitely, like get it together. After they sweep us, they do trade one of their best players in Rafael Devers to the San Francisco Giants, which now kind of like wherever competitiveness they looking to be this year, probably just went
Mhm.
out the window when you trade one of your best players like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they did
Yeah.
get some pitching back, and I think an outfielder, like three pitchers and an outfielder. So I mean,
Yeah.
they might have strengthened some of their things, and I also know that they did bring up three prospects, including one Roman Anthony. He plays outfield. So I think this is the time where Boston is starting to look at their farm system, see what they got, and give these guys an opportunity so that they know where they're at moving forward, maybe for next year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that they can have an idea of where they're in need and what they already have on their roster or in the farm system. But yeah, so the Yankees get swept. And I think, like I said, I think it was an awakening that they needed. I think they've been, breezing through series, winning a lot of series throughout the season, if not all of them. And got to get ready. We getting Stanton back. I think he's playing, this next series. Gil is coming back. Max Fried has been, our true ace right about now. And
Mhm.
and we're gonna run into some problems, but hopefully it's gonna be a situation where Boone could, be the manager that we need him to be. Maybe not go so analytical heavy, maybe go on some gut feelings and give, some players the bench and some players a start. Um, just on a feeling, sometimes that
Mm.
works, you know.
Yeah.
So we see what's gonna happen with that. Aaron Judge still having another fucking monster season. I mean, I think he's finally down to batting 378, but I mean, he's still batting 378. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we in June, middle
And
of
we know what
June.
it is.
So
When it comes down to legendary shit, it's just consistency, bro.
yeah,
You
no,
know?
he's got it consistent. It's just the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? That's it. We don't even need to speak
No,
on it.
I'm not talking about that. I'm saying like that definition of greatness in general, at least in baseball, is consistency.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Is like you can't fall off in baseball. Like
Mhm.
you constantly have to be fucking putting up the numbers at
Mhm.
what you're good at. If it's fucking hitting, you got to
And
be
he's been
fucking
doing it.
slugging. Yep,
Yep. And
exactly.
he's been doing it. And he's been doing it. So
Yeah,
can't even fucking say anything about it. He's literally putting up Babe Ruth numbers.
yep.
Literally. And in terms of the Mets, yeah, 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 got swept by the Rays. Um, Injury with Kodai Senga, which is not
Unfortunate,
really
very
good.
unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, at
It
least it's not.
it
It doesn't
hurt
look like
our.
it's season ending, but
Yes. I mean,
it it.
it literally looked like he pulled something in his leg.
Mm,
Uh, I looked at it like, why are you not stretching completely? Like that looked like a didn't stretch properly or rush the stretch injury right
mm,
there. Like especially that under the leg. Like it's we all get it. Like if you're over fucking a certain age, like it's gonna happen, bro. Like even if you're under a certain age, it's gonna fucking happen if you're not
mm.
stretching and you're moving like that. But yeah, outside of that, like getting swept, losing our cushion that we talked about last week.
Yeah, because now it's down
Um,
to 2.5 against Philly, I believe now, and it was at
yep,
like 6.5.
down to 2.5, same and almost reversing the situation with you guys. Now the Rays I believe are 3.5 behind you guys now,
Mm,
because of that
yeah.
sweep.
Hmm.
But yeah,
And y'all actually about to play Philly, I believe, this weekend also. This weekend coming
yeah,
up next
yeah.
weekend.
I mean,
So that's gonna be a big.
We got Braves and Phillies all over again. Braves, Phillies,
Yeah,
Braves, Phillies, Braves, Phillies, Braves, Phillies. But yeah, nah,
yeah. So
fucking outside of that, still the best team in the AL. I mean in the NL. So I can't complain. Um I
yeah,
did
no,
not
but I
want to
mean
lose
there is
all those
some.
games though. I did not want to lose all those games, especially last night. It's Father's Day. I don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah, yeah, no, but I mean, there's still gonna be. I think right about now, the worry with that Kodai Senga injury is back to the pitching again. You know what I'm saying? Clay
Mhm.
Holmes, where he was put into this starting role and looked good. You know what I'm saying? Is getting a little more pedestrian right about now.
Yep.
There's another guy that you guys got from, man, I can't remember. Great. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. But he was a below mediocre pitcher, for most of his career. I think he came from Oakland. And then he came in, he started real good for y'all. Um, but now he's kind of like came back to earth as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, if y'all want to be competing this year, especially with the way y'all been hitting, because Soto has been on a tear. You know what I'm saying right now. He's getting the bats going. He's, having fucking perfect percentage on fucking getting on base for a whole game, 3 for 3 with 3 walks and shit. You know what I'm saying? On base
Getting warmed
six
up.
times. Yeah, so he's getting into his what's expected of him and the type of player he is.
Yeah.
So there might be a move that needs to be made for y'all. Especially when it comes to a starting pitcher or any type of arm.
Mhm.
I do not see y'all being able to continue not just the NL East race, but also being in the playoffs with the way your pitching is set up at the moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And and I think we'll see a move. I think we'll see a move by the deadline for the Mets in when it comes to that,
Yeah.
especially if they're still this close to Philly. If, in another month it'll be the All-Star break, and then in probably 2 or 3 weeks after that it'll be the deadline, and then you start getting to see who's like which teams are buyers and sellers at the moment. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And if you
Yep.
see a good deal with a team that's selling that can't, uh, pick up the tab on a player that's going to be a free agent, they might be trying to get something back for him. And if
Yep.
that's a pitcher, that definitely needs to be a move that Mets need to consider.
Oh,
My bad. I
jump
got a phone
scaring.
call. That's all right. But before we end, it's also it's also NHL playoffs. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
And we
Oh.
got my bad again. We got Edmonton in Florida. I don't know what the series is at right now, but shout out to those teams. Florida, they looking like they could take it. But I think everybody's rooting for Edmonton.
Mm-hmm.
I'm rooting for Edmonton. Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid is the face of the NHL. You know what I'm saying? And he's
Mm-hmm.
also on Edmonton, and we've seen that throughout these past couple of years, especially with Sidney Crosby and Alex Ovechkin, being the faces of the league and also winning Stanley Cups while doing it. Maybe we're seeing that right now with Connor McDavid and it being his time with Edmonton. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, shout out to them. You know, Playoff hockey is intense, man. So especially the series. I think both sports have settled in terms of are hurting in terms of the lackluster teams in terms of fandom. Like Edmonton, Florida, these are regional teams along with like OKC and Indiana. You don't really got like a Rangers or a Lakers team where their fandom is across the whole country. You know what I'm saying? Where everybody's gonna watch.
Yeah.
So, but
I
with
I
that being
I
said, still good games being played in both series.
yeah, I don't think you're necessarily gonna get the old heads, but like if you're really into the hockey shit, you're not
Mhm.
sleeping on Florida. You know what I mean? Like there's certain teams you're just not sleeping on. Even though they might
Mhm.
not be major market, they're still over the last 4 or 5 years been putting in that work. Like so you're looking at it like they've been to the fucking playoffs for I don't know majority of the last 10 years. So
Yeah.
like you got to kind of pay attention to them. Like you
Mhm.
may not
Nah,
want
facts.
to, but you got
But
to,
you gotta give them their flowers. Yeah, they're doing it.
Yeah,
They're doing their
exactly.
thing. Word.
Exactly. And with staying in hockey, Islanders securing the number one overall draft
Oh,
pick
pick. Yeah, we got the number four pick. Yep.
for this draft. You excited about that?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, why wouldn't I be? You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, I mean, I couldn't tell you who's the best prospect and whatnot, but hopefully whoever that person is, they draft him. He's immediate impact. He could be the piece that we're missing. Within the past couple of years, we've either been like really, really good or just on the cusp, on the outside looking in. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
hopefully, with this number one pick, it kind of puts us into more of a perennial competitive team. You know what I'm saying? Perennial
Yeah.
playoff team. Where we could run off some years in a row where we're making the playoffs and advancing some rounds and possibly even getting to the Stanley Cup Finals. I believe it was 3 years ago when we went to the Eastern Conference Finals and lost to maybe Toronto. Mm, I think we lost to Toronto, the Maple Leafs.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Oh no, Tampa Bay. Not Toronto, Tampa Bay. And it was
That
that blue
makes more
team.
sense.
So yeah, man. So hopefully we'll be able to turn it around, man. It's our time, bro. And it's a good
So
time for New York sports. Because the
yeah,
Rangers,
so
they made some moves too. I think they got a new coach,
the two
maybe.
the two names that have been floating around are Matthew Schaefer a defenseman, and a forward, Michael Misa. Michael Misa,
Mhm.
not immediate
Mhm.
impact. They look at him as like a prospect that could blossom into something within the next, 5 years, if not, next couple years.
Mhm.
Where on the other end, Matthew Schaefer, they're saying that he's going to be A tier defenseman.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of one of those things that how it works. Same thing with hockey. Defense kind of wins chips, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mhm.
A good question. They're basically saying, at least the experts are saying, this other kid, even though he's not going to make an immediate impact, he has the potential to be like mega, like
Yeah.
fucking face of the
Mhm.
league type player.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Islanders deserve it, man. It's a long time coming. I think fucking DiPietro was the last time that we had the fucking #1 pick.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And he's been doing radio for a while now.
hmm
So, hopefully, like I said, man, it's our time for us to, turn a new leaf and what we've been for the past, couple of years on and off, and hopefully start being permanently on. Same thing with the Rangers. You know what I'm saying?
word.
This year was a total wash for them after the year before having finishing with literally the best record in hockey. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't know where they fall off at, especially in hockey with that. You know what I
Shit's
mean?
just like this, bro.
Yeah, it's weird like that. You have these players. Um, it's got to be organizational, or what you're putting together. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah,
maybe it's looking good on paper, but it's just not meshing in the locker room, and then
yeah.
that's kind of like spilling over into the gameplay, and
hmm
and we see what happens. Or, but yo, another one wrapped up. Champ,
Yes, sir.
champ is here, man.
Just to remind everyone, who do you have tonight?
I got OKC. No, I
OKC.
got Indiana. I got
You
Indiana.
have Indiana. I'm going the
Yeah,
opposite way.
I'm sticking to my Indiana in 6. You know what I'm saying? Indiana in 6.
God
That's what
damn
I
it.
called. I gotta stick with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a flip flopper. I'm not gonna flip flop. You know what I mean?
Uh,
Babyface
um,
Jones in the building.
I'm gonna go opposite. You already know I'm going OKC. But yeah, that's it, everyone. Another one in the books. Hope everyone has a great night. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Um, and yeah, we out.
Champ is here. You're ready. Peace, love, and soul, everybody. Thank you. And Anson, always a pleasure, my brother.
My guy.
Sammy Sosa.